Alright, so this is just a little video on different running accessories that you can use while you're running. Some of them obviously are really what you want to be using on a day-to-day basis. Other things, obviously not nearly as much. And so let's dive into some of them and kind of get a look at what may or may not be usable. I think the most important thing while running is obviously shoes. And I'm not really going to go over shoes that much, but what I would like to do is just show you a few that are kind of nice. This is mostly for like winter running. So if you Saucony, La Sportiva, and they make some of these, and they're essentially Gore-Tex shoes that have a gaiter that's zipped over it. And usually this isn't a waterproof gaiter, but it keeps things from dropping in from top. So usually they have a pretty aggressive heel, and a lot of times you can get some cleats that will screw into the bottom of these. La Sportiva actually makes some. So that is one option. I bought this pair from Adidas, thinking it was some waterproof shoe, but actually the mesh here allows a lot of sand and stuff in it, but it does keep stuff out of the top. So those are some options. Obviously you can get a nice small soft shell gaiter like these ones from REI that still have a tough bottom, and that'll keep stuff from coming out of the bottom like that. So those are the shoes. Probably the next most important thing is you got to have something to run in. Most of the time I run in just a pair of running shorts, and these are better than basketball shorts because they have like built-in underwear into them essentially, and they are light and they work. Nike makes them. I have Under Armour ones. I mean, this is a pair of Adidas ones. They all work good. Those are the ones I think are really the best. Probably the next thing that I like to go over is a running watch of some sort. This is the Garmin Epix, which I bought initially because it's one of the first ones to have built-in maps into it, and it works. It works pretty good. It's not as good as some of the other ones like the Phoenix 5 and stuff like that. But you know, I like it. Battery lasts a long time. Then after that, I'd probably say running at night. I think my all-around running light is just the Black Diamond Spot. You have a long throw beam, and then you have a short throw beam, which actually works out pretty good for most situations. And then what I do when I want a little bit more light is I actually like these. The company's called 180, and this is a belt they have with LEDs that shine all over. And so this is actually really good for if I have this on my head and I have this on the bottom, I can see a long distance, and I can also see short distance with this. And because I have it on my head pointing down and I have it on my waist shooting out, you kind of get more of a 3D effect instead of that 2D effect that you tend to get when you're just running with normal light. Of course, they also have a head one as well, which is so phenomenal when you wear these. And I've done a review on them, and they've updated a few things like they got new batteries. There's a few limitations on them, but these 180s are, if you're a runner, I think you have to have one. I also have the little Petzl E-Light, which is really great for if you don't think it's going to get dark on you, or if you just need a little light to direct oncoming traffic from hitting you. Something you may have noticed is I actually have a super light bell on here. This is the Cricket, I can't remember what it was, but super light. I like to keep knives on me. Have I ever used a knife while running? No, I haven't. But it's just kind of the Boy Scout in me. Hey, what's up? Yep. I talked to someone named Scott. Yep. Yep. Yep, I did. Maybe, but yeah, just tell him to ask Scott wherever he is. So, all right. Bye. All right, so the next thing that I would probably go into is this is another knife. It's called the Boledo. It's the name of the company. The type of it's probably the lightest knife you can have. Not super heavy duty. This is a cheap one you can get on Amazon for a couple bucks, and it's just by Snap-on, but it's pretty lightweight, more heavy duty. So another thing that you got to kind of keep in mind is running in cold weather. And I'm not going to review tights. I like Salomon tights the most, but Nike tights work good. But sometimes I just want a pair of capris, and then I'll just wear like a compression sock over it. And that's a good way to kind of get a little bit more warmth in like a spring or fall weather. What do I wear on my upper body? Usually, obviously, a long sleeve shirt, but I will also just wear a t-shirt sometimes, and I'll wear arm warmers in the winter that I can pull off real easily. But man, the past few years I've really been in love with arm coolers, and I just think they're the most phenomenal things in the world. In the winter, they do keep you a little bit warm as well, and I just think they're the best. Obviously, you want a pair of gloves. I think if you don't think you're going to need gloves, something that's just a waterproof shell, like these North Face gloves, are phenomenal. You're like, I don't think I need these. You just clip these on to something, or you just stuff them in your pocket, and you just go into an itty bitty little ball, and you just pull them out and you can use them. They're great. That's one of the reasons I actually really like these OR gloves, and I forget the name of them. But what's really nice about them is they have a built-in shell in here, so you know it's going to be cold. This is going to be too cold for just a soft shell pair of gloves. I don't know, so I'll just take these ones, and then if it gets a little bit colder, you zip it out, pull out the shell, and you're good to go. What about jackets? I usually don't run with a jacket, but if I do, I usually have these. So this is one by First Ascent. Here's a Salomon Fast Wing. They're super small, and they're super teeny. They just unfold out. They're mildly water resistant, add a little bit of warmth, and usually once you're done, you can throw them away, not throw them away, but you just put them in your bag, and you're good to go, and you don't have to worry about it. The reason I have this guy out right here, this is an Adidas ankle brace, and I've had ankle braces when I was in like playing basketball in high school and stuff like that, and this is completely different. There's no support on the medial or the inside. On the outside there's a piece of, I think it feels more like plastic, and it's relatively thin material and really tight Velcro. And I've trail run in this a lot, especially recently after an ankle sprain, and it provides quite a bit of support. So if you're someone who needs a little more ankle support and you don't want to run in some high top boots or something like that, this is great. Headgear. I'm a big headgear person. I have a lot more than what I'm showing right here. I'll say I will run in, and Halo is my headgear choice. If you haven't run in Halo and you sweat, you gotta have Halo. There's nothing else out there quite like this company. They come in these bands. This is the wide pullover. I think they might even call it the pullover 2. Basically, this keeps the sweat from dropping in the eyes. It's phenomenal. They have a winter one. This one goes over your ears, which is great. It's a little bit colder. Not only does it go over your ears, but also has a cap on it as well. And I'll actually wear this, and then I'll actually also wear their racing visor on top of it to keep the sun out. And I wear this all the time. You can see the sweat on the side, and I just think they're phenomenal. I wear them all year round. Sometimes I wear sunglasses. Going on with lights a little bit. If I'm running where there's traffic, I'll just put this around my ankle. So anyway, that's something I like. Next, I'm going to talk about you're going to be doing some longer runs, or you just want to take a few things with you. These are an amphipod, or they make the spy belts. I also have the spy belts, which is very similar to this. You know, a thin elastic waist, a stretchable fabric, and you can put in a DVD in here. Fits larger like iPhone 6 Plus and stuff like that, but it also does constrict a little. It's still tough to get in there. You want to add water to it, you can easily clip on like one of these, same company. You can just clip that onto the side, or you can clip this onto a backpack. Amphipod as well makes these. They're great. I have a few of those, and I just recently bought this. I haven't had a chance to use this. This was an Aqua Quest bag. I wanted a bigger bag. I mean, my iPhone 6 Plus would hardly take up half of this bag. This is big. This is they say a dry bag system. Essentially, it's a water-resistant cover with a waterproof zipper. I mean, it's 2 layers thick. If I can separate them here, you can see that's 2 layers. It comes with a little waterproof bag as well too, and it has a super wide belt, and I'm excited to go running with it. You throw in some treats or whatever. And it also has a nice way, instead of having the fat rolls getting in the way of pushing on the buttons here, you can push right there. Comes undone pretty easily. Like I said, that's really thick right there, a lot thicker than the Spy Belt ones and stuff like that. So, also, if you want things more waterproof, if you're not using Ziploc bags to throw stuff in, then you're really doing a disservice to yourself. You can get some dry bags. Obviously, this is a thin dry bag by Sea to Summit. I've used it a few times. The next thing I want to talk about is running packs. A lot of running packs out there. I didn't spend the $200 and get a super nice one because I don't use one that much. But there's tons of them. I've enjoyed this camp one. I've modified it a little bit, added a few beaners and added a knife to the front and stuff like that. But this one's good, but a lot of them are good too. Really just what goes on what you're looking for. And the last thing I'll kind of go over is a nice carbon fiber light trekking poles for those really long trail runs that might be too steep to run. You might have to do a little bit of hiking. I'll throw that in as well. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, I could have gone more in detail with a lot of other things, like different tights you could wear during the winter and whatnot. But I really feel like this is a good starting point. And obviously, it's running. You don't need much. It's a very inexpensive sport. You could buy everything here and even more, and spend $500, and that'll last you for 10 years easily. So anyway, I hope you enjoy. If you have any other ideas for accessories, just put them in the comments below.